Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we're playing Archery Requires Balance. We're back to the Equality Cages series with 107. And you can see Sleuth there trying to do some archery, but the title is a little bit off balance, unusually. So a little bit of a play on the title there that you can see. Shall we just take a look at the grid? Let's do that. What do we have in store for today? Equality Cages 107 by guBBLOR. Archery Requires Balance. And I mean, you can definitely see the archery and the reference I see in terms of arrow sums. So we'll take a look at the rules that will explain all of these in a second. Maybe it's a little bit imbalance, I guess. Is that kind of, or well, of course, equality cages, so hence the balance. That's the reference. So rule sets. We've got normal Sudoku rules apply, so that means place the digits 1 through to 9 in each empty cell. Digits cannot repeat in every row, or in the columns, or in the 3x3 boxes. I'll go for equality cages first this time. So equality cages. Now, if you haven't seen these before, I'm going to encourage you to start with Equality Cages 101. This is a harder puzzle from the Equality Cages series, which, as usual, I'm saving for weekend. So I'll make sure that I link up here to Equality Cages 101. Start there. They are fabulous puzzle series, and we're now on to 107. So the idea behind equality cages is they have to be balanced. Essentially, it needs to have the same number of odd and even digits. So for example, if this was a 1, this has to be an even digit because I've already placed an odd. But it also needs to have an equal number of low and high digits. So I have a low odd digit here. I need a high even digit there, and it becomes 6 or 8. That's the kind of the essence behind equality cages. Now, 5s are not allowed in equality cages because I think the challenge with these is they're not low or high, they're a very middling digit. So what would you put in here that would either be clearly a balance with the 5? So no 5s allowed in equality cages, remember that. I often forgot it in previous solves and it takes me a lot longer than it should as a result of that. Lastly, we have arrows and arrow sum rules. So the digits along each arrow must sum to the digit in the circle cell, and digits may repeat on arrows, I guess if other rules allow. So what's a good arrow to look at? Shall we take a look at this one? So if I put 1 and 2 on here, this would have to add up to 3, because essentially the sum of the arrow would be placed in the circle. If I kind of do the reverse of that, that was 7, that was 3, then I know that this would have to be a 4 to make sure that it is summing up to 7. That's all the rules, and 0 digits in the grid as usual, so we're going to have to figure out a lot of things on our own. Now, if you've got that balance, you're up for a bit of archery, link will be in the description down below as usual for you to play along. And with that said, I'm going to restart the clock and see how I fare. Right. Now, I'm tempted to start here because it's a fully enclosed arrow within equality cages. And therefore, we know that it has to have 2 high digits and 2 low digits. Now, the minimum I can make a the high digit be would be a 6. Plus the minimum 2 low digits, a 1 and a 2, we're already at 9. So I think this is forced with a 9. And 1, 2, 6, and we have a digit under a minute. This equality cage next. So now I've got 6 and 9 gone, meaning this is 7 or 8, because it's got to be, it's got to be clearly the high digit. We've got a low and a high digit. This is 3 or 4 because the low digits 1 and 2 are gone in here. And I either have, if that's a 3, that would be 8. If that's 4, that would be 7. Remember, odds and evens. So 4 and 7 looks very tricky to me, because essentially I've already placed a 4. I need 1 and 2 in there, as in I need a 3 sum between these two cells. I remove the 1 and 2, and now I have 6 in 2 cells. So I'd break the puzzle with a 7. That's 8. That's 3. I need to add to 5. That could be 1, 4, or 2, 3. Remember what I said earlier about pay attention to 5s? look at where the 5 is in column 8. So it's not in equality cages. It's not in these equality cages. And I can't put a 5 on here because that already gets me to 8. I can't put a 0 on there. So that's a 5. If I keep thinking about this a bit harder. Yeah. Right. So I've placed, hang on, have I? I need 7 and 9 in column 8. Can I can highlight column 8. There you go. Now, 7 and 9 are absolutely not on the arrow sum with a 3 to add up to an 8. So 7 and 9 are up here. One of them is in this cage. The second one, I don't know where it is in this cage. Now, 7 and 9 have to be joined with a low even digit, and it's either a 4 or a 2. So one option, I guess, would be 2 with a 7 and 9, which would put a 4 and 1 in here. Then we have the same problem that I have double 6. And I haven't placed 3 anywhere. That's a much easier, like, where does 3 go now in the column? Because I've got a 7, 9 in here with an even digit. So 3 must be in here. So 3 and 3 add up to 6. I need a 2. So that's 2, 3. That's not 2. That is the 2. This is a 4 with a 7, 9. And column 8 is largely done. The 7, 9 now is not with a 4. How did I corner pencil mark the 5? The 7, 9 here has to go with an even low digit. It's not the 4. That's a 2. And it feels like we've done all we can on this side of it. I mean, we can kind of finish pencil marking this with 4, 5, 7. Not very helpful. Maybe this arrow feels like it has a ton of options, though. I mean, it's clearly not 1 because I'm adding 2 cells. Well, 2 cells are unique for sure. So it's not 1, it's not 2, it's not 3, but it can be 4. I could do 1, 3, I could do 1, 3, 1, for example. So tons of options there that I'm not sure it's worth exploring just yet. These seem like the next thing to think about. Well, actually, so is this. I mean, because I did use like an awful example here with 1, 2, 3. This clearly can't be, because we've got 4 cells that add up to 2x, whatever this is. And the minimum this can be is 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is at least 5 or higher. This is 5, 6, 7, or 9. It's not 8 because it's already in the row. So I will probably take a look at this, but maybe these on root first. So this is an interesting one because, again, it's either a low, so it's got an odd or an even digit together. And remember, a low and a high digit. So the minimum I can make this will be 1, 6. And therefore the minimum I can make this one is a 7. Now the other option is essentially I add 1 to both of these. So it's a low even digit with a 2. And therefore a high odd digit, which the lowest is 7. And 2, 7 will get me to 9. So that's literally all the options this can be. We know the low digit will be here. The high digit will be there. It's not 9, it's from 6, 7, or 8. If this is 6, that would be 1 and 5, plausible. Because I couldn't put a 3 on here. I mean, it needs a low odd digit, but a 3 would require the second 3 in a row. That clearly breaks. But actually, 1, 6 doesn't even work because it breaks this cell. So 6 is not an option, and these possibilities are gone. Now, the 7 would need to be with a low even digit, and it's not 2. So that could be 4 and a 3. That does work. And the 8 would have to be with a low odd digit, which I think seems like loads of options. It could be 1, 7, or 3, 5. I don't think this was quite as helpful as I hoped it would be, if I'm honest. It's not given me any triples. It's not really done much for me. And the fact that there's like a digit as high as 7 on here is a possibility also is not great. Where am I going next? All right, come on, Sleuth. I mean, here's something. 2, looking at this, the minimum I can make this now is 134, and that would be 8. Now, the other possibility is 135, because again, no 2, so I can make this a 9, but I can't do 2, 3, 4 since there is a 2 looking at them, so there's always a 1 in here. And once you have a 1, if I want to get to 7, sorry, as in another 7 to get to 9, 1, 8 is not available, 2, 7 is not available, it's 3, 5. So in fact, 1 and 3 are actually forced in here. And that's brilliant because I've got 1, 2, 3. I needed a low digit in this equality cage, and the only one that's remaining now is a 4. So that's not a 4, that's a 9. That's a 1, 3, 5 setup. There's a 4 in here, which we already know has to go with a 7, 9. So I've actually got 4, 7, 9 triplet, and this is 6 or 8, and a 1, 3, 5. Now 9 clearly cannot have it in here. If that was a 4, that would be a 5. That doesn't work. I've already pencil marked it in the box. So that's a 7. That's a 2 to get to 9. That's a 4. That's a 9. These are not 9. That's a 4, 7 pair. The 9 needs to go with a low even digit. I've already placed a 2. That's a 4. I don't know why I just wrote 2. 4 bounces back. That's 7. That's 4. And I imagine now this is going to be interesting, because without a 4, the minimum I can make this now is 1, 2, 3, 5. Does that even work? 1 and 5 is 6. 1, 2, 3, 5. No, it needs to add up to an even digit. 1, 2, 3, 5 adds up to 11. So the minimum I can make this now is 1, 2, 3, 6, which is 12. So the minimum now is 6. And it's not 9 because I've already placed that in the column. So this is 6 or 7. And it's not 6 because one of these would be, let's just pick at random, one of these would be 1, 5, and then the other one would be 2, 4, which it can't be because I've already got it in the column. So that's a 7. And the options for the 7 are 1, 6, 2, 5, 3, 4 is not available. But I can write this quadruple in here of, what did I say it was? 1, 6, 2, 5, which looks up here, eliminates the 1 and 5, gives me a 3. That's now the 3 placed, and then a 1, 5 pair. I think this needs to be, yeah. 7 and 8 are not in here. 7 and 8 are up there. That's the 8, that's the 7. Therefore, that's the 1, that's the 6. And I'm left with a 2, 5 pair at the bottom. And I know what this cell is. This is the 9. That's not a 1, 7. Was it 1, 7? No, 2, 7. That's not 2, 7 anymore. That's 1, 6. Therefore, that's a 7. That's not 7. Then I have 4, 5, 6, it seems. No, 4, 5. I already placed the 1, 6. 4, 5, 2. 2, 4, 5. 2, 5 in here gives me the 4, the 5, the 2. 1, 6 eliminates the 1 from here. And therefore eliminates it. Well, I mean, the 7 is gone already. I've placed it. And actually the 2, 5 is placed. So that's a 3. Therefore, that's a 4. That's a 7. Oh, the 2 actually resolves. Just pay attention, Sleuth. Come on. And the 5s are now resolved. These are not 5s. 4, 7. This equality cage. Maybe. Have I missed any other obvious things before I go down that route? Not really. This is 6, 7. And this 7 gives me the order. That's 7, that's 6. These are not 6. That's an easy equality cage now. That's actually worthwhile doing. That's 1, that's 6. This is now a low odd digit. I've already placed the 1. This has to be a 3. 5 and 9 are not here. They're there. This is 8. And then I can finish the row with 1, I think. 1. And in here, 8. And the 1 gives me the 5, the 1. What do we have in here? 5, 8, 9, I'm going to say. 5 feels way too low for kind of an arrow of this size, but I'll leave that for now. And this is 2, 3, 4. Have I got anything else at this point? Anything obvious? I mean, I've filled in all the equality cages pretty much, so I think we're done with equality cages. What we really haven't used is the arrow sum still, so that's maybe what's next. And obviously Sudoku, which may be worthwhile doing. I don't know. There's a 7 in one of these. The 8, for example, is staring right up here. It gives me the 6 and 8. This is... well, 8 is there now. 2 is here. They're not helpful things, if I'm honest. I can pencil mark a lot of box 3 now. 3 is there, 5 is there, 6 is here. 1 can be anywhere. I don't know. Yeah, this is not useful. Let's think about arrow sums then. Actually, just before arrow sums, look at column 6. Where can 9 go? It's not on the arrows. You can never have 9 on an arrow unless it's a single cell arrow. That's 9. That's 5. That was easy. All right, arrow sums. Let's start by filling in what can this be. This could be 1, 3, 4, 5, it seems. That's not 4, that's not 5, that's not 1. That's not 4 either. So 1, 3, 5. So I'm going to say 3, 5 is way too big, because that's already 8, and then the minimum this would be is 1 and 2. That's 11. 8 and 3. So 3, 5 is a no. There's definitely a 1 in here. That's not a 1. So the minimum this is now is 3, 4, which makes this a minimum of 7. Can't be an 8, but I assume it could be a 9 with 4 and 5. So it's either 3, 4 or 4 or 5. There's always a 4, but that was already known. No real revelation there. Now 7 and 9. I need to know which one's which. I can't do 4, 5. It will be 3, 4. This will be 1, 5. So it's already quite big. 1, 5 is at 8. Sorry, is at 6. And then that would require these to be 1 and 2 to even get to 9. Which is possible, so not ruling that out. In here, maybe let's just think a bit harder about this 7 and 9. If this is a 3, 4 pair, I guess that would be forced. That would be a 4 in here, which breaks the puzzle. If that's 7, can't place a 3 in here. So we know this is 3, 4. This can't be a 3 because it's already in a column. That's 4, and then 4 and 7 breaks it. So that's definitely a 9, which means this is 5 and 4. This is a 1, 3 pair now. This 5 means that is a 4. This 9 means that's not a 9. Already at 4 in here, that is an 8. I wasn't going to be able to get 4 plus a minimum of 3 to add up to 5. So that forces an 8. That's not 4, that's not 4. That is 4. That gives me something. I have 4 in here. I need another 4. It can only be 1, 3. That 3 gives me the order. That's 1. That's 3. That's 1. Excuse me. That's 6. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. That's 2. That's 3. The 4 and 7 are kind of resolved. That's the 7. That's 5 or 6, isn't it? No, that's 5. That's 6. Sorry, my dog is very upset because my missus is outside speaking to someone, and she doesn't like that at all. What do we have in here? 5, 8. We know the order. That's 5, that's 8. Because of this 5. And we have in here a 2, 9. And surprisingly, not resolved. This 5 gives me the 9. The 5. I need 6 and something. Why am I not seeing this? 2 and 6. This 6 gives me the order 6, 2, 9, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We need 8 and 9. That's 8, that's 9, that's 1. And if I've not made any mistakes, that's 8 and the finish for today. So that was a much quicker solve than I was expecting for the difficulty rating of the puzzle. So that kind of surprises me, if I'm honest. Let me think about this. This felt like the obvious start. If you're familiar with equality cages, it feels like the obvious start, and you can see how quickly that was forced. Thinking about through this, that's again felt intuitive. The 4, 7, 9, 1, 3, 5. So yeah, maybe it doesn't deserve the 2-star difficulty rating. But lovely puzzle as always, guBBLOR. I'm always curious as to whether I went down the solution path that you expected, or if I actually sort of did something that is incredibly unusual. I always look forward to those comments. Hope that you guys enjoyed the puzzle. I certainly have, and the video. And see you back for the next one. Bye for now.